What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 301. I'm your host, Angelo, and I'm joined by the hardest working producer in Pokemon podcasting, Carl. How's it going, buddy?
It is going. Titans won a game today, so I'm happy about that. And Sunday Night Football's going on, and the Chiefs are floundering, so I'm happy about that. And got to watch VGC all weekend, so I'm happy about that.
The Eagles didn't play yet, so I'm happy about that.
Don't you have the Monday night?
Yeah, we play tomorrow
or something.
Yeah, we play tomorrow. I'm just done with them. There's that, and then not to turn this into my sports teams are weird and make me want to pull my hair out, but you see the viewers want to be able to see this, but you could see the name I have as recording, right?
Nope.
Oh, you can't.
Nope.
It's EBOO expert. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
That is the process when someone takes a third, yes, 1/3 of your blood and runs it through some oxidation thing and then puts the oxidized blood back inside you. And Philly's first baseman, Bryce Harper, just had some quack chiropractor do that to him.
Interesting.
Because this is where we're at. I need this year to end so badly. Outside of that, though, like life-wise, just got back from New York. Was there for work. Had my company party, like holiday party. If you were in the Discord server, I posted a few of the pictures of I took my office is in Rockefeller Center, so the tree is right there. It actually went up the day I got into the city, which was absolutely miserable for just getting around in human traffic, because nothing's worse than tourists looking up. But I was able to get pictures of the tree. I actually passed by where they go and record the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I passed by that walking to work on Thursday morning. Yeah. And you and Carter wanted me to do a little B&E and lose my job.
And you're fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that was nice. It was nice to see my coworkers. I don't get to see them a lot because I'm up in New England and they're in New York City or LA. So it's actually nice for me to go see them and spend time with them because they're all cool. I like my coworkers and my job. With that being said, I also didn't get to watch as much VGC. I really didn't follow much of this tournament, at least watching it, but I was following the stats, and overall, it feels like a lot of the same when you look at the usage stats, which we can just go to right now.
Yeah, looking at the numbers, the strict numbers, it looks like what we left off with Regulation F the first time.
Yep.
You see Incineroar, Urshifu, Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, Landorus, Rillaboom, both Ogerpons, Tornadus, Chien-Pao, etc. Those are all things we expected to see all of this. This is normal. And then you kind of just actually start looking into the teams that made the top cut.
Yeah.
And you got to see some cool, interesting things popping up.
Yeah, or even just some of the spreads. And first of all, what we're doing is we're covering the Balan VGC Wonderworld, a $1,500 prize pool tournament hosted by WinCon Gaming. 965 players this weekend. They had 8 rounds of Swiss yesterday in day 1, and then for day 2 they had 4 rounds of Swiss into a
asymmetrical top 8.
Yes, which was which ended up being 15 people. So pretty much this is kind of how it would if we had a VGC.
If we had a VGC event this big, this is what it would look like.
Yep. And that was the idea of it. This is great practice for a tournament like Toronto, which is our first North American Reg F event coming up. That's probably these East Coast or Eastern based events usually have the higher end of the player count because of the number of players on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And even just looking at spreads, what we're saying, I think one of the things that we noted, initially was looking...
When we first started looking at it, you were talking about Raging Bolt, Calm Mind Day 2 didn't do too great.
Yeah.
Calm Mind Raging Bolt in general wasn't that popular going into this event, which was which is surprising because that is the set that everybody was like, oh, this is the best Raging Bolt set. Everybody's playing this one. It's really hard to break through, and you got to make sure you have the answers for it. People figured out their answers for it. You'll see that in some of the top teams that when we talk about that, some people's more interesting counters to it. And one of the big things is just like people expected that one, and so maybe this is just a little bit more of just like people thinking ahead and planning ahead for it and going, oh, if we're playing the Calm Mind mirror match stuff, I would rather be Assault Vest and Draco Meteor, or I would rather be booster energy for a bigger special attack boost so my Dragon Pulse will break through faster, or my Thunderbolt will break through faster. Those kind of things start to get into your mindset of, oh, I can deal more effective damage faster against the set that wants to set up. And notably, the Calm Mind sets are vulnerable to things like the Encore and whatnot, which we do see some on Ogerpon and on Whimsicott and things like that. Not very common, but
I was going to say
we only saw it was not very common on the water ponds. The water ponds are very set in what they want to do.
Yeah, I was just seeing. So it was 2 on Wellspring, only 4 on Heartflame. So overall, but that's the thing. Like, it is an option that you can run on these Pokemon.
There was a ton of Alolan Ninetales in the bottom half of this event too.
Yeah,
we did have one finish in the top.
We did have one finished top cut. Again, only 4 Encore, which was pretty nuts. But a lot of times, but that's also just due to the fact that a lot of the Alolan Ninetales teams that you'll see, you could see this 5 over here. Its top partners being Articuno, Waterpon, Lando.
It's Articuno, Lando,
yep. Bolt,
Waterpon,
and yep. No, it's Hisuian Arcanine.
Yeah, I said etc.
etc. I thought you said Incineroar for some.
No,
I thought because we're just playing Reg F, so I'm like Incineroar.
He's too Incineroar pilled, folks.
Yeah, this is the format to just click Parting Shot and like Rage Powder and Fake Out and Spore and love it. I'm seeing my therapist tomorrow. So yeah, this is just the team that Tio went and ran, and I think when we go through these teams, which we can start into right now, as we were just like noting some of these Pokemon and their usage. Fergraf back in 12th, overall winning percentage for the tournament. Welcome back, Go. I miss you. But yeah, like a lot of the teams that we're going to talk about are a mismatch of updated versions of old teams that we used to see, just rips of old teams that we saw at various moments, and etc. So the first team that was a winner, this is a balanced team that was 5 out of the 6 Mons we actually saw a lot of in the, honestly, sort of like the middle part of Regulation F the first time.
Yeah.
I believe there were a handful of players who top cutted or finished top 8 at events using Roaring Moon, Incin, Fluttermane, Amoonguss, Wellspring, and instead of using Iron Hands, it was an Assault Vest Raging Bolt.
Yeah.
But overall,
that was the big one.
Yeah. And which we also will see that team as well. But this is the update, and Carl, this is kind of like what you were saying. The Iron Hands is just a generally good counter, especially with the Assault Vest into the Raging Bolt, especially the Calm Mind variant. Forcing it to have to click Protect or lose a turn to Fake Out is really big for you to be able to reposition another spot. Even the threat of Fake Out forcing it into protecting is just enough where you can reposition the hands yourself with Volt Switch. It gives you multiple ways to pivot between the Volt Switch on the hands and the Parting Shot on the Incineroar. And there's just, I think one of the best things with this team is that you can kind of like almost lead anything. I think the only thing you wouldn't lead would be like Fluttermane, Roaring Moon. That's the only one that I can't really see.
I'm honestly, I don't know if you can justify that one. It might be fine, but
like that's the thing. It's like that's the only duo I can't see you leading together, and and even then, it's like you could probably think of some situation where sure it could kind of make sense, but at the end of the day, like I don't see in the world you'll do that. But any of the other permutations make sense on this team. You can find reasons to lead any of them, and I think this is a really cool part of these balanced teams. Breaking it down like a little more, we already know what a lot of these Pokemon do. I think the main thing is like the role that the Roaring Moon plays, and this is a Pokemon that so this is the attack booster set. Once it gets a Dragon Dance off, it is able to just pick up so many KOs.
Yeah, you get to effectively just run rampant because you get your +1 boost for speed, and you're already boosted now in attack as well.
So. Yeah, I believe, after a D-Dance, knockoff will Oko Raging Bolt if they don't
Terra.
go and if they do Terra out of it, well, click Acrobatics then.
Yeah, you just click Acrobatics. That said, you do have to kind of watch out for the Thunderclap in that situation.
Oh yeah, you absolutely do, and I think that's
also like that's a lot of mind
but that's
games.
Why you have the double. But that's also why you have the double redirection, double fake out. There's a lot of Pokemon on this team to really let the Roaring Moon shine and get set up, and it's also really not your only mode. It can absolutely Roaring Moon is the Pokemon on this team that can do the 1v3, and you have 4 other amazing Pokemon that can help set it up, but you also have a lot of immediate options. One thing to note on the Wellspring is that it's using Woodhammer instead of your Hornleech.
Yep.
So that makes the Ogerpon Fluttermane lead, my favorite lead in the entire format, with this being Specs Flutter, even more oppressive of a lead, because instead of like, sometimes you could say, okay, if you lead a Water Resist, the Hornleech isn't as scary. Well, the Woodhammer is a lot scarier, and that's something that will have enough damage where you could double something with a D-Gleam Woodhammer, or even just like your single target, you have a spot that you know can't protect, and you can go like Woodhammer Moonblast or something into that slot. You're going to be able to pick up a KO unless there's a lot of resists going into it.
I will say I'm not a big fan of the Parish song. I know what this is for.
Yeah, I think it's
you have a really if you are very weak to the like Ting Dozo stuff, like they do a very good job of being able to just kind of ignore your Dragon Dance, ignore your booster energy. I don't care about any of that. You can't break through me, blah 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 blah. Parish Song is kind of I'm going to force Ting Dozo out of the way, so you have to switch or you're going to drop both. That's literally what this is for. It's just for the big bulky stuff that you can't 2 or 3 shot. I was going to say that the swap from Raging Bolt to Iron Hands means that you effectively have your rotating fake out. Instead of it being Rillaboom, it's Iron Hands, because you are already double grassed up with Amoonguss and Wellspring. Adding Rillaboom here isn't a really smart idea with the typings, so Iron Hands serves double purpose as 1, a decent Raging Bolt check, and 2, it still preserves that balancy pivoting double fake out to set up your Dragon Dance and whatnot.
Yeah. Now, one of the things to note with this change is that because there's no clear amulet on the team, you are pretty weak to Intimidate. Now, of course, one of the things, I don't know what the Roaring Moon spread is. I believe for you to there is, I think you need to be 252 adamant and only 4 speed on your Roaring Moon makes it so that you will always go. I know it's if you're max attack and 4 speed, you're always going to get the attack boost on booster energy, even if you get intimidated. Now, there are also some teams, like for example, the Iwafuchi team, where when we went and ran it, it was we put some speed in it, knowing that if we get intimidated, we get the speed boost instead. But at that point, we're like, screw it, we'll just get fast D-dances off.
Yeah,
and like our worst.
That's the big thing. It's like the D-dance is going to negate the intimidate effectively.
And so sure, like you're neutral, but you're also +2 speed.
Yeah, then you're still wicked fast, so you're fine.
So that's like one thing to note, like in the difference. The Raging Bolt makes it so that you aren't as Intimidate weak. Also, you can just do this fun thing called Ivy Cudgel Crit. Um, that is another option. You have a move with a higher crit chance.
Yeah.
You can click the funny button there. But yeah, overall, this is a really great team. It is a really strong balanced team. It's a different balanced team than like the one that everyone was making a big deal about. But this is like, again, really good balance. Now, the exact opposite of really good balance is a Tornadus Smeargle Flutterfish team
the
in second
opposite
place.
is hyper aggressive Flutterfish.
Yep.
This team is wild. So this is the Decorate Smeargle that we saw a little bit of at the end of Regulation F the first time, and saw a little bit more of once we got into G and I. Decorate's a hell of a move. +2 to both attack and or special attack means that all of your offensive threats are good. Who needs Calm Mind when you have Decorate, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I think one of the other things to note, just like pulling from this, we saw with the it was a Zamazenta Calyrex Shadow team, developed by a few very high-end players, including Dr. Aaron Trailer, that we saw do well in Regulation F with that Moody Decorate Smeargle, and specifically, I think the bigger thing was the Tornadus with the flying boosting item. If they were using Sharpbeak, if they were running the Sky Plate item, they would have won instead of coming in second place because they would have had God and Anime on their side. That is a self nerf there, but like, yeah, get your quote unquote support Pokemon in that Torn to +2 with a damage boosting item and stab. That's Bleak Wind hits.
Yeah, that's the kicker. I will say we have a flavor fail with this Bleak Wind Storm, because we do not have Rain Dance anywhere on this team. So we are playing by the seat of our pants.
I mean, on a team with 2 protects, you're already going for it. Mama didn't raise none, so I think we're full sending. And while we don't have Rain Dance, we do have Sunny Day.
We have, that's the weird spot is we have Sunny Day on the Flutter main.
Yeah. So this is a booster speed Flutter main, and it is a pseudo Sun in the sense of the photosynthesis on the Flutter can set up its own photosynthesis if it loses booster. The Raging Bolt gets its photosynthesis, and you can click. You can do the funny meme of Sun boosted, Choice of Specs boosted, Beads of Ruin boosted, Overheat, and you can say screw the damage cal, screw a resist. You're going to die.
What's a resist? Yeah. I will insert Chi-Yu meme here.
Yeah.
But the Sunny Day and the Chi-Yu setup aside, it is kind of on the nose of just like it's very face up. You know what this Fluttermane's doing. There's there's no threat of Dazzling Gleam, there's no threat of Shadow Ball. Like you're going to probably live a hit if it's clicking anything other than Moonblast. So I feel like a lot of this Fluttermane pressure is lost. Like, cool, you're fast, you get to do the Sunny Day thing, and your Chi-Yu gets to maybe do its thing, but if you miss the overheat, all the wind out of your sail. You're gone. You're done. So this is definitely a feast or famine version of Flutterfish, whereas we have other versions of Flutterfish that are a little bit more contained, I guess is the correct way to put it. Did you die?
Dad off. No, we're going. I was just texting Dad to make him angry.
You're in the Discord. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think one of the things, like just like general thing with this team, because we're going to see other teams with the Torn Flutterfish and the Urshifu. The Urshifu on these teams is the Dark Fu. It's the ability. It puts out a lot more general pressure, than the Rapid Strike. Like, again, Wicked Blow with the Choice Band blows up everything. It also gives you a much better priority move in the Sucker Punch. Speed is the name of the game with this team. You want to be hitting fast and hard, And if they can match Tailwinds, well, then you have a Sucker Punch and the Tailwind. So we're going to be seeing that a lot as well. Not on this more offensive team though. And this is a team that we talked a decent bit about this last week.
Yeah.
And this is one of the teams this is one of the teams in general that's had a really good showing. Not just in this tour, but overall. Friend of the pod, Keon, won one of our New England Cups today. His first cup win in about a year, using Iron Crown size spam. So shout out to Keon for winning. Proud of you, baby boy. And right here with this is just like, I mean, as you said while we're doing this is the copy paste of the Karis team from Orlando.
Yeah, we know exactly what this is. We've seen this before. Regidrago, Iron Crown, Indeedee, Tornadus, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Ogerpon, Hearthflame. Like, this is pretty much carbon copy from the 6 we saw before. If you've watched that team play at all in the first time we were in Reg F, you understand what this team is doing. We've got some cool synergies with Iron Crown and Indeedee, Tornadus and Terra Water, Iron Crown, and Rapid Strike Urshifu. We've got Double Follow Me to help our Regidrago whenever it's viable.
Yeah, I think
the keyword there is viable.
Yes. And that I think is if you're going to look at any downside of this team, it is the fact that there are definitely matchups where you just look at your team sheet, your opponent's team sheet, and say, well, 5v4, 5v6, it looks like Drago can't come. Now, on the other end, there's matchups where your opponent looks at your team sheet and says, I don't have a fairy type or a Terra Fairy
How do
anywhere.
I beat this Dragon Energy Regidrago, right? Like, that's the
so it's like, just as many times as Regidrago is the most useless Pokemon on your team, it also goes and takes 4 KOs in 3 turns.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act there. I know that there is. I think one of the things, if people try to innovate on it, I think going and maybe working around whether it's a secondary redirector, adding or something like that in that Ogerpon spot, maybe it's something like different there, or even like I think those are 2 spots you can like change through, and then the Regidrago spot, could it be another like Pokemon that can act as like your secondary special attacker that can do a lot of damage? You mentioned
something that he playing with Landorus, right?
I've heard about that, and I think it's just a general Pokemon that can be brought and used.
Like, Landorus fits that slot. Heck, even Raging Bolt really kind of fits that slot.
Yeah, like you could. That Raging Bolt can work. It doesn't put out the immediate pressure
that Dragon Energy does. Well, yeah. It kind of depends on what your set is. If you're doing like the,
you would have to be like Magnet, because you want to boost your energy.
If you do like the Magnet, Thunderbolt, Thunderclap, Protect, Dragon Pulse, or Draco, whatever one you want of those 2 moves, like Terra, Electric, Magnet, Thunderclap is going to put a ton of pressure on people. Like it is really strong.
It probably has more utility, but doesn't have the oomph that the Drago has. But in general, I think the big thing to take away from this, Regidrago aside, is that the Iron Crown and Indeedee teams, a lot of people they're playing them, they're working on them, and they're doing well. This team was a well-known commodity, not just as in, hey, this exists, but people were seeing it on ladder, people have been using it on ladder and doing well.
Like,
this isn't. Yeah,
this one gets a lot of attention because it's cool, right? It's the Iron Crown Regidrago team. Like, it has a lot of the casual fans of the game like on notice, so they all want to play this and they think it's really cool.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's very intricate and it's very like specific. You have to play it a very specific way. You can't just always just click the Dragon Energy button, or you can't always just click the Expanding Force button. You kind of have to know when to put your pressure and when to back off and play a little more defensive with this one.
I mean, simply you need to know whether, even just stuff like, am I using Tailwind or Trick Room? Like, how am I going to go at it with my speed?
It looks really cool on paper, and it looks really simple. Just looking at Indeedee, Iron Crown, Tornadus, Regidrago, like you see these things like, oh, these are very powerful leads. well, you can't. This format in general is very powerful, so your powerful stuff's matched by other powerful things. So you have to kind of really make sure you're playing, not overplaying your hand, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, but no, if it, like this is like if you're looking for something that is worth, like the juice is worth the squeeze. Testing this team and working on it. Another team that's kind of like that, and I know this is the team that you're. This is your stuff.
So this is who I watched through day 2.
Yes, this is Michelle.
Yeah.
Kelch, MDB, 4th place at 12-3. Only losing to the eventual winner in day 2. He did take losses in rounds 7 and 8. And I'm not sure if that's a situation of he lost or he started the day 6-0 and knew that he could probably just XO day 2 and took a nap. Who can say?
So I was going to mention this at the start of the show. Round 2 took almost an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, no, I actually heard what happened with that.
Yeah, there was a lot of back end stuff that went wrong in round 2.
Yeah.
They had to completely redo it. They got it fixed. It was an unfortunate thing that happened, but
the situation from what I was
ended
told.
up getting. It was probably almost 9 o'clock Eastern time by the time they were finishing up.
He was in bed. He won 6 games and called it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like from what I heard is that on Limitless, 2 different people pressed the start round button at 2 different times, and it completely repaired everything. And then you ran into the situation of people didn't realize there was a repair, and so a ton of people either reached out and started playing the wrong set, or on the other end, you had a ton of people who were waiting and like got like a timer loss or whatever because they just didn't notice that there was the repair. So that was the whole issue there. That probably explains his round 7 and 8 losses. This team specifically is something that again we brought up last week. I know this is like your bread and butter. I hate this so much.
I love Team Dozo.
I cannot stand playing this.
For those that don't understand how this works, Tinglu Dondozo is a very, very strong strong bulky defensive core. Between being able to Sand Tomb and yawn your opponents into submission, Dondozo just ignores all the boosts from your opponent that for everybody's setup, whether that's the Raging Bull or the acrobatics Raging Moon we saw earlier to Swords Dance Ogerpon. It pretty much just says, haha, cool boosts. I'm going to yawn you. Anyway, the idea is you use Dondozo and Tinglu to chip down your opponent's team, forcing them to switch and pivot as much as they can. And then you come in with Qianpao Dragonite or Golden Go and kind of clean up that with the backline there. Gouging Fire here does some pretty fun stuff with Tinglu. It actually kind of makes Tinglu an offensive threat with the Sand Tomb, thanks to Hal. Kind of does a similar thing with Dondozo. The other fun fact is Heat Crash from Gouging Fire, I think, Oko's most Amoongus.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing Heat Crash there instead of... and I also believe Heat Crash Oko's most Fluttermane as well.
Yes. One thing to note about this Gouging Fire, this is likely Jolly. We want to be as fast as possible so our howls go off before things, or we can Breaking Smite before we need to. Adamant booster energy ones do exist, but usually the adamant ones are Clear Amulet instead. Notably, that's just a good anti Incineroar thing. You already don't really care about Incineroar a ton. Your Tinglu is Body Press, Ruination, and Sand Tomb's not doing enough damage anyway, so you're not worried about it.
No, I think Sand Tomb's special.
Is it? I thought Sand Tomb was physical.
I
thought Sand Tomb was its only physical move because Body Press is technically based on defense and Ruination is special.
Oh my god, when the hell was... Oh. Today you learned. I always thought it was a special attack.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Sand Tomb's physical.
No, it is physical. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like sand, like the attack damage on Sand Tomb, the attack drop isn't going to change how much damage it's doing anyway. You're more there for the residual chip. So Tinglu doesn't care. Dondozo Oblivious does not care. Dragonite Inner Focus does not care, and so that's why this team plays the booster energy gouging fire, whereas a different gouging fire team, usually it's the King Gambit ones, they like to play clear amulet.
Yeah.
And the piece to resistance is this trick choice specs golden go. Being able to just trick your specs onto something that doesn't want it is always just a fun little cheeky thing. Make It Rain is still really good in this format. It cleans up a lot. Yeah. We'll get to talk about the different Dragonite sets when we get to them. There were people playing the Regulation H set, pretty much carbon copy of that on their teams. There's people going back to this Chen Pao loaded dice set with the Scale Shot Ironhead Extreme Speed. We saw that a lot. It's interesting to see like which Dragonites do better, which Dragonites start to rise to the top. I know Joe was very adamant on he wishes his Haze was just like extreme speed.
Yeah.
Which I believe that will probably be the change going forward. Either that or you swap to like Ironhead and just don't care about the extreme speed. One of the issues was he got into situations a lot where his Dragonite couldn't deal damage to the opposing fairy, whatever, on the other side. And so having the extreme speed would be nice. Having the Ironhead would be nice. One of those two swaps. Because Haze almost came up nothing. It was a big nothing burger.
Yeah, I think like the idea of Haze is definitely the heavy, I do not want to lose to Calm Mind Raging Bolt tech. But I also think one of the other things with it is in Regulation H, like I'm just going top of my head. You had Rabombi for like the 2 weeks that was happening. You had Prim, which was never really top 12 after like the first month of the season. Like, what were the fairy types? And I think like that was the thing where it's like, and even then it's like, yeah, sure, they would have a handful of Terra Fairies, but like maybe like one, like it wasn't like a ton, it wasn't a big thing. And it's like on this team you see the 2 Terra Fairies. I mean, just in general, looking at it, Fluttermane was the third most used Pokemon. 47.77% of every team had a fairy. In just Fluttermane.
The notable thing about Fluttermane is you can't extreme speed that one either. So
yeah,
in hindsight, talking about like, oh, I want the extreme speed, you can't extreme speed Fluttermane either. That doesn't really solve the problem on its face. I do think like going to Scale Shot Ironhead, Extreme Speed Protect this set. If you're not interested in the Tailwind, this is probably the set. If you are interested in the Tailwind, I think you probably drop that Haze for Extreme Speed and just try your best to make sure that Fluttermane either terras to something that's not Ghost or you take care of the Flutter in a different way.
Well, even if it terras the Ghost and it uses the Ghost Terra, you can now click Scale Shot into it. So if you could force a Terra into something where, if you could force a Terra, one of your 2 moves will work. Overall, I do really like this set. I think that as of right now,
this is probably the default set if you see a Chen Pao on.
It's either this or Banned. One of the 2.
I like the flexibility.
I like this more.
I think the band. I think the band it's cute, but there's too many ways to just get stuck. Like, especially with this team, you're already playing a Specs Golden Go. A Band Dragonite is just adding more insult to injury. You want that flexibility a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep. What do we got next? It's a balance. Yeah, it's just
this is balance, but like again, this is a case of it's balance fully on. But then you look at the spread, you're like, oh no, this is a little bit of a cook. You have Metal Plate, Rillaboom, because you're also running the Assault Vest on the Raging Bolt.
I will emphasize for the people that thought he might have said metal, it's a Meadow.
Meadow.
As a choir / theater, enunciating is my thing. Meadow Plate, not metal.
You know where I'm from. You know where my accents are
why
from.
I mentioned it.
I talk drunk.
That's why I mentioned it, so people didn't get confused.
It's my northern attitude. I was raised in the cold. Okay, so that's one cool thing. It is the classic fake out double grass U-turn. But overall, really cool. One other thing to note is that you're running the Terra Water on the Rillaboom over the usual Terra Fire. I think just in general with these Fire, Water, Grass Pokemon, switching to other Terra types in that trio work.
I think Fire's still optimal. You really don't want to be weak to Raging Bolt.
You don't, no.
Especially if you're not carrying the AV, you just really don't want to be weak.
But I also think that since you aren't carrying the AV, they're just going to click Dragon type attacks into you, and it doesn't matter. So that's like one thing where I'm like, eh. Going next to it, the Ogerpon Heartflame. This is a Grassy Glide Ogerpon. To go with the Rillaboom, you have your double Grassy Glide. Note that when your Ogerpon is not Terra'd, it goes through Fergarath's Armor Tail, which is really cool. The other thing to note that's fun with this, there is no redirection on this Ogerpon. You are running Focus Energy.
Yeah,
because after
you are just looking to hit and hit hard.
Yeah, after one Focus Energy, Ivy Cudgel is a 100% crit, and you can go and with the setup of your Fake Out support with the Rillaboom, you can just get your Focus Energy off, Terra, and now you have +1 auto crits. And also one thing to note with the Ogerpons is that there is what people call like the mask boost. When you use the non-Teal Mask Ogerpons, the Heartflame Mask, Cornerstone Mask, and Wellspring Mask do also add a bit of damage to your Ogerpon as well. So it's like you got multipliers and multipliers at that point.
Multipliers on top of multipliers on top of multipliers.
Going down is a Sash, Terra Ghost, Urshifu Rapid Strike. Usually on the Sash, we're used to seeing offensive Terra, so going for the defensive Terra is interesting here. We already noted
it's not completely uncommon. It's fake out protection because you really don't want to get your fake. You don't really the fake out. The teams that are going to cycle fake out on you are going to eventually get you to where you detect it and then you need pivot, to go, and you have to protect that Sash. And so instead of switching, you get to Terra Ghost and then still Surging Strikes and blow the instant up that's probably set across.
Yeah. Raging Bolt we've already talked about. Not a lot to talk about there. The super offensive Terra is on this Gem-Pow with the Stellar Terra. Yeah. And you're like, oh, the sash is on the Urshifu. What is it holding? It's holding a Life Orb.
This is punch you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to do.
Ice Shard, Sucker Punch, Icicle Crash, Stellar Terra. This thing is taking no prisoners.
I hate Icicle Crash with a passion. It's one of those moves that it flinches me and hits me every time I'm against it, but I can never hit people with it. And so I just I
love Icicle Crash.
I am still a big Ice Spinner fan, but I also hate terrains, so
yeah, and I think the part of this is, especially since you're running a team that is double Grassy Glide, you do want that terrain.
Yeah.
So Icicle, and it's also just if you're going all in on the damage with the Life Orb, it's only 5 base power, but again, 5 base power plus the Life Orb boost plus the Stellar boost, shit adds up. And finally, this is a no protect support Flutter, Terra Grass in order to add another Spore Moon immunity to your team.
We got some Thunder Waves on this one.
Yep. This is your speed control. Thunder Wave, as Carl already said, Icy Wind, and you also have Taunt as your anti-Trick Room and button, and then Moon Blast because it's a Flutter main, and what else you want to click?
I feel like, man, when you're playing these Icy Wind double support moves, I feel like you just really want this to be Dazzling Gleam instead of Moon Blast. That's just me. I don't want to lose to Ogerpon follow-meing me to death. But
I think for that, you're simply just clicking, like the idea of with the Ogerpon, like you can click the Taunt into it first to try to like stop it there. I think just the idea is using Fluttermane, taking advantage of the fact that Fluttermane has such a high base attack, like special attack stat, and the higher base power of Moonblast, especially when you take into consideration the slightly nerfed damage on your spread moves. Of that, like if I'm clicking Moonblast, I want whatever it's hitting, whether it's what I want it to hit or not, to be taking at least 50%. I want to make sure like I'm picking up 2 KOs here. and utilizing my speed in that sense. That's just my thought process on why I would have taken Moonblast. But yeah, I can absolutely understand the utility of giving this team a spread move, because there is no spread move on the team outside of your Snarl and Electro Web, which are more so
They're more
tech
supporty.
moves. Yeah, it's they're and the Icy Wind, but like that's just like your tech move stuff.
I also think like there's no wide guard really to punish you in this format.
Yeah, there
of, like,
isn't.
The random Flamigo and Garganackle you'll run into. So
yeah,
like I feel like wide guard's not super popular in this format, so you can get away with it a little bit more often.
Yeah,
but people also probably are still scarred from Regulation I. So
yes. Real quick, just to go over our next team. It's our first place team, but this is the classic version with the Raging Bolt.
Yeah, this is the normal version.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't bring up in the last, when discussing it at first, is that there is no protecting the Amoonguss. It is running both Pollen Puff and Sludge Bomb. Now, one of the things we have seen, we might cover it with our Top Cut teams, or it might come up in some other teams, but that people have started on their Protect Amoongusses, dropping that Pollen Puff for Sludge Bomb. Again, it just makes Amoonguss a more active player. I think Wolfe Glick's win in Orlando really pushed that idea of using Amoonguss not just in full support. And I'm not saying using it as an offensive piece, but giving it something to do that is meaningful at all times is very important.
Yeah.
This is another It's relatively similar team.
It's close. It's very, very close.
It's the idea of going at it with Regidrago. This is another offensive team. You have your double Grassy Glide with the Rillaboom and the Ogerpon Heartflame.
If you look at it through, if you squint your eyes and look at it, it's very similar in the idea. You have your terrain setter and your terrain abuser, and you have your Tornadus and your Regidrago, and then you have your special attacker, and then you have your Urshifu.
Yeah. And the special attacker is also a steel type. This time we're going with the Goldango, Terra Fairy. We all know what this does. This is probably 252 timid. It's going to get a nasty plot off, and it has the redirection support, the fake out support to be able to do it. And then it's going to go click Make It Rain and blow stuff up. You can just really, really punish teams as well. But if they don't have a... Actually, one moment. That is a question I have. What is the speed tier on Drago?
I think it's a 80. It's either 80 or 60. I think it ends at a 0.
Pretty so sure Drago, it's 80, and then
that means
Dango's faster.
Goldie's 4 points faster. Yeah.
So one of the things you can do as just an immediate balls to the wall screw it mode is just lead the Dango Drago and just
spread.
Yeah,
if you're gonna be a fairy type, you're gonna eat a Make It Rain. If you're not a fairy type, you're gonna eat a Dragon Energy. Good luck.
And even when the Dango isn't boosted, it's still even at with no nasty plot, it's still a Life Orb 252 Make It Rain. It's going to do a lot of damage. If you're weak to it, you're going to get hit hard. And so that's just another mode in terms of trying to play it around. I think this is a team, if anything, that is made more around maximizing Regidrago, unlike the Iron Crown teams that are more so maximizing Iron Crown.
Yeah.
And Drago just being a part of that. So this is our 8th place team, the final team that made the official top 8. This is one of the quintessential classic Regulation F teams. This is the first really strong variant of the Tornadus Flutterfish that did insanely well.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about when we talked about more consistent Flutterfish teams.
Yep. This is, again, very well-known commodity. You have your Flutter. One of the cool things with this team is, yet again, this is a team where, on a hyper offensive side and a balanced side, everything can pretty much lead with everything.
Yeah.
Which is just really, really powerful, and it makes going into the team really tough to figure out because your opponent has so many permutations on how to lead and how to weave things into each other. that I think is really, really cool. The Sunny Day on the Tornadus helps out your Fluttermane and your Chi-Yu. It also helps the Glimmora to an extent where the Sunny Day defensively will take away its water type weakness. The Ogerpon completes your Fire Water Grass core with the Chi-Yu. It acts as your redirection support. And again, you're going with this Dark type Urshifu, this time being Sash Terra Dark, in order to just, again, really commit a lot of damage, just be immediate pressure, and take a lot of KOs and just bust holes into teams that it usually shouldn't have any business breaking holes into.
Yeah.
Okay, next team is 2-2-2, kind of, not really. It's like it's 2-2-1-1-1.
It's very 2-2 adjacent.
One?
It's close.
Yeah.
This is the Dozogiri Chien-Pao Dragonite, and then we have Wheezing Galar. I told you that one's the one that everybody's gonna use, and then Urshifu Strike to kind of round it out. It's interesting seeing the Dozogiri doing this sort of thing, just because the Galar Wheezing feels kind of out of place on this team. You really like all of your abilities for the most part, and so I don't think any of your Pokemon want to lead with the Wheezing.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's.
I don't like. That's why I'm just so confused. Like, what are we doing with?
I
this
mean,
Wheezing?
like, are you
what
leading Wheezing Tatsu?
That feels really rough because I don't think that puts any pressure on anything.
Yeah, I was supposed to, like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going through, like, okay, that's the only one that doesn't really care about its ability. Like, unless I don't know. I mean,
unless we don't care about turning off our own Unseen Fist or turning, like, if we lead the Dragonite and we turn off the Intimidate, Inner Focus doesn't matter. Like, that's like one of the only situations I could see that being viable. But at that point, why aren't you just leading Chien-Pao with your Dragonite and just blowing things up?
I can also see a world where anti-intimidate because you're unaware and not oblivious on the Dondozo, going Wheezing Dozo to stop the intimidate, and then, like, just going, like, wave crash into it.
Then you just get to swap out and do whatever, because
So I could see that as a lead as well.
What's funny is this Dondozo is the droopy Tatsugiri, which is the defense boosting Giri. So in that situation, you're just clicking body press. You say, bye-bye, Ensign. I'm a body press you. I don't care. You can intimidate me all you want. My body press is boosted +2, and so now I just get to run you over that way. So that's what it feels weird. Like, the Weezy just feels weird. This could probably be Fluttermane or something else, and it'd probably be fine. I don't know what, outside of this being just like a knockoff of Glimmora, I don't know what purpose this serves.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. No, it's yeah, I'm just, like, throwing things against the wall. I think one thing to note that, again, is interesting is a Chien-Pao team where they're putting the sash on another Mon and going with this Stellar Terra Life Orb on the Chien-Pao, this time with Throat Chop instead of the Ice Shard.
Yeah,
I think that's just, like, another interesting thing to know in, again, like,
I think I'd rather have the Ice Shard. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think of. I think the only
Throat
thing
Chop might pick up some KOs on certain Mons, just thinking about it out loud, but
it stops, like, the parting
priority
shot.
Life Orb, sort of ruined Ice Shard seems just so good.
Yeah,
like, just double priority, just bang bang bang.
I think the only thing I can think of is, like, running the double dark because you don't want to be. You just want more consistent dark type coverage on your team, and you don't want to, like, play sucker punch mind games.
Yeah.
That's, like, my thought on it. I think it's just, again, a example of well-known Pokemon that we know has a very, very standard set, and we're seeing a lot of success in people not using that set. And I think that is where a lot of the growth is probably going to come from in this format, not just people developing newer different teams or finding a new Pokemon. It's taking ideas from other formats that we've played in since the last time we played Regulation F and applying them. We see that as well with the fact that we're playing the plus defense Tatsugiri, which we did not see at all the first run through of Regulation F. So like a lot of this team just feels like taking a known commodity and applying lessons learned.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of someone who has learned a lot of lessons with their team, moving to Nikolaj Hoj Nielsen.
We're skipping, for those that are maybe following along on Lab Mouse, we're skipping 10 because 10 is a team we already talked about.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 10, Tommy VGC. Congratulations. He just ran, or they just ran the classic, like the same exact, like Glimmy.
Pretty close to the same exact.
Flutterfish.
Yeah. Pretty close to the exact same.
Yep. This is the highest placing Ursaluna Blood Moon team. Blood Moon did not have a good weekend. Only 5 in day 2. We was talking about that in the New England server, and Calvin was like, "Yeah, Angelo, it's Regulation F, not Regulation H. It's not as strong anymore." Like, and which it is a very, very strong Pokemon, but they are correct in the sense of this isn't Regulation H Blood Moon Ursaluna. It's a top 3 to 5 Pokemon. It's top 20-ish. Like we ranked it in our effective like A tier, but there were a lot of Pokemon we also put ahead of it. There was like
it's still a strong Pokemon. You still probably have to respect this Pokemon, but it had a 49% win rate. It's ranked 23rd overall in usage.
Did not have a good
weekend. Like, it happens, and sometimes that might be a symptom of everyone bringing more Iron Hands, things that check the bear a little, the more offensive bears a little bit better, because a lot of them are back to these Terra normal life orb sets that get punished by Drain Punch, Assault Vest, Iron Hands.
Yeah. Just going through the rest of the team, you see this is the Amoonguss with the Protect, and again, this is a great example of what I just brought up. Sludge Bomb over the Pollen Puff on the Amoonguss with Rocky Helmet. This is a Tail Room team, so you have the Tornadus and the Fergraph. Mental Herb Fergraph to stop taunts, to make sure that you are getting into Trick Room, because overall this is a team that wants to be in Trick Room more often than not. And then for your 2 fire types, the Ogerpon Heart Flame and the Incineroar, your Heart Flame is your bigger physical offensive piece. It's your only like real offensive hitter on the team. Even though on a team like this with the Assault Vest Incineroar, there is a world where you can run that as like 36 adamant as a way to just add more damage output, but a lot of your physical damage is coming from the Heart Flame, which is why you are 3 attack Heart Flame, letting the Amoonguss do the redirection work.
Amoonguss is filling in as a better support Pokemon, which the damage on this team is very much just centered in the Blood Moon and the Ogerpon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you are not doing damage with your Blood Moon or your Ogerpon, then you're probably playing this team wrong.
Yeah. And also it works because the 2 Pokemon, they are Terra Hogs. You can bring them together and not Terra the other. It's not that bad, but these are 2 Pokemon that really want to Terra to do a lot of damage, and a lot of the pieces on the team are just maximizing the ability to let those Pokemon do as much damage as possible, whether it's through Fake Out Protection, Fake Out Support, redirections, Tailwind or Trick Room Speed Control, Spore Spam. You have a lot of different things you can do. Again, like, this is one of the different ways you can play the Blood Moon Ursaluna. We might get to another one if we decide to like go through like the teams that caught our eye or something.
Yeah, if we want to go any farther down here, we might find a couple. Yeah, there's a couple down here, but a lot of them look the same.
Yep.
Or similar, I guess the word.
Next, though, this is 12th place, CC Balan.
This is the opponent.
No, I'm just sorry, CC.
This is the player that knocked Joe out. Top cut.
Yeah. So again, this is a team, as we were saying. This is the 6 that TO used to win one of the European special events in Regulation F last year. Yep. The idea being Articuno when the snow is annoying and can't get hit, it gets, because of the snow cloak, you get the automatic blizzards boosted by your Terra and your specs. It is the high roll team, but like you can get to do the thing on this a lot because of the fact that like sometimes you're pretty much in this team when the Articuno is in snow, there is no such thing as a safe turn for your opponent because the snow cloak always makes it so that there is a chance that they can have the perfect play into you.
Nothing is guaranteed,
but they miss.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed against the snow cloak, snow Articuno.
Unless you're running Blood Moon Ursaluna, who does not care about accuracy checks. That is the part of Mind's Eye that people always forget about. It ignores your opponent's like evasion boosts or whatever.
The sad part is Articuno's going to probably outspeed you, and then you just get hit by sheer cold, and you're sad.
Oh, okay. Sheer cold one. I thought you were going to say you died of ice beam.
No.
You
because you're going
to
Terra away from that. You're going to Terra away from the ice weakness, but you're still going to die to sheer cold.
I mean, I'm just going to be quite honest with this. I'm just going to throw up the damage calc real quick.
I think if you Terra it, I think it's a 3-hit KO. I think, if my math is right, my quick math is right. I think it's a 3.
You are 244. So if you both Terra. So if you both Terra, it's a 2-hit KO.
Well, yeah, if you Terra the Articuno, I don't think you're going to Terra the Articuno in front of the Blood Moon. There's no point at that point. Because
to do more damage. Actually, it's a 2-hit KO.
You're also probably spamming Blizzard if you're going to do that.
Yeah, if you're
going to Terra, you're going to spam Blizzard. You're not clicking.
It's a 2-hit KO regardless. On the now, of course, their Blood Moon OHKOs you, but like what lives a Blood Moon? But yeah,
that's why you go for the sheer cold, because the Blood Moon threatens the OHKO you, so you just click the sheer cold button. And if they win,
click the funny button, boys.
You just got unlucky, and that's just how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, people know about this team. It's not anything new. There's a choice band Arcanine Hisui. There's Assault Vest Raging Bolt. There's a Life Orb Landorus with Sheer Force. Terra Steel. Steel has become, I think, the most popular Terra type for Lando.
We can go and
I think it's either Poison Steel or it's Steel Poison. It is Poison Steel, but not by much anymore. That gap used to be much bigger.
Yep, so 151 were Poison, 120 Steel, 303 of the 304 were Life Orb. Did you check the other item before I asked what it was?
I didn't even look that far.
Okay, also, so this also tracks, so all but one were Life Orb, and also all but one were Sheer Force. So
now I gotta go find the one that wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, so there was a Sandforce Landorus. What item was Sandforce Landorus holding?
Probably like lefties or...
It was lefties.
Was it lefties? Yeah.
It was lefties.
Usually they're weird. So now I gotta go find the sand setting Lando team. Hold on.
Yeah. So while you're doing
talking, I'm gonna go find it.
I was say while you're doing that, I'm gonna mention that 15th place also ran this exact same 6th, and 13th place is another player who ran the Karis Iron Crown team. So the last top cut team we're going to talk about is Elizabeth, who is one of the top builders in the Japanese circuit, and they went and ran a very interesting look at the Gouging Fire. Now,
Elizabeth's team is wild.
Now, again, this is a Jolly Gouging Fire with the Howl, Heat, Crash, Breaking Swipe. This one's running Burning Bulwark. One of the things we didn't mention with the last team is that they ran Protect instead of Burning Bulwark. There is a mechanical difference on why you would run Protect. Burning Bulwark does not protect you against status moves. So even if you Burning Bulwark, you can still get taunted. I believe you can still get spored and stuff.
Yeah, status moves will still go through. It just protects you from the
actual damage.
And so physical and contact moves get burned.
Yep, and so protect in general is just a little better. You're leading this to click Howl a ton. There is no special offense on the team outside of the Matcha Gotcha on your Sinistra, which you were using to just keep your Pokemon alive. No, you have the Choice Scarf Coaching Zapdos Galarian. which acts as your like proto gouging fire, your chocobo gouging fire, if you will, who can sit next to it and receive howls, or sit next to another Pokemon and be the boosting bot. Brave Bird, Close Combat, Dual Wing Beat are really great moves, a lot of coverage. In terms of like you're able to cover pretty much everything between fire, like flying and fighting. You have your Chien-Pao plus your D-Knight. This is the same.
You're gonna laugh. I found the
You found
Sandforce
it?
Landorus. Guess what? It's not leftovers.
Okay, you're going on
So-
another Odyssey. We'll get to that.
I'll find that one in a minute. This one was a sheer force. It was supposed to be a sheer force Landorus. That wasn't.
Yeah. I'll
come back when I find the.
Find the lefties one. But yes, so what you have here, this is the Dragonite is running the loaded dice multi-scale 3 attack. Again, I do think that on this team, you still, because of how even though you have the coaching and the howl, with how physical it is, I still think I'd rather be the inner focus. However, just the added bulk might feel a little nicer for Elizabeth. The Chien-Pao, this is the first normal Chien-Pao we've seen. Protect, Sash, 3 attack, Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, and Sacred Sword, getting that fighting type coverage instead of the double ice or the double dark. And the real kicker on this team that's not the Macha, like the Sinistra, which, while a unorthodox choice, is a Pokemon we saw a lot more. It is the Protect, Clear Amulet, 3 attack, Ting-Lu, Earthquake, Terra Blast, Terra Poison, Throat Chop.
So this thing is wild. Fun fact, Ting-Lu still has a really high attack stat. And one coaching and or howl means you pick up most KOs easily.
Yeah, Ting-Lu is base 110. Like, the reason why we don't think of it as an offensive Pokemon is because you're usually running the bare minimum offense into it. And even then, like, it could 3-hit KO stuff and just stay on the field a lot.
Yeah.
This one is probably running at least up. It's probably adamant.
They run a little bit of attack, not a ton.
I was going to say
because you have the gouging fire and, in this case, coaching on your Zapdos Galar to boost the Ting-Lu's attack pretty much indefinitely. The really cool thing is you get to spam Earthquake next to your Zapdos Galar, which is coaching you. Like, that is a very unique thing that this team gets to do, and it is very, very powerful.
Yeah. Also, by boosting the defense on the Ting-Lu while it's already decreasing the special attack damage with its Vessel of Ruin, it just makes the Pokemon insanely bulky and just very difficult to get rid of. The Sinistra makes it even tougher to get rid of with the Hospitality coming in, healing about a quarter of its HP, and then you can switch again. There's a lot of things. Like, this is a really cool way of playing the Gouging Fire team. I never enjoyed that play style really. So this is
very much a more aggressive style than what like the Ting Dozo things are doing. Ting-Lu in this situation is almost being treated like King Gambit was when we had Gouging Fire King Gambit a lot. It is almost eerily similar to that style of I am anti-intimidate because I have the Clear Amulet. Gouging Fire used to sit next to me and click Howl. And we have Breaking Swipe to reduce physical damage. Ting-Lu already reduces the special damage. It's a very, very powerful just 2 Mon next to each other core. They check each other's weaknesses decently well. There's a lot to like about Elizabeth's team. I really do think that this is probably one of the, I would call it, newer styles that we'll probably see pop up more after this event.
I think overall this is like the most... A lot of the other teams we've seen, they're just iterations on known ideas. And while this is to an extent an iteration on a known idea, it's a close enough where I think you can call it its own team.
Yeah, I feel like it's close enough that it's its own art, its own style of archetype now. One of the other big differences between this Chien-Pao Dragonite and some of the other ones, this is a multi-scale Dragonite. not the inner focus.
Yep, we did talk. I did talk about that while you were looking.
So the difference is you are not as anti-intimidate with this team, being that multi-scale instead, which is why the Defiant Zapdos Galar really works on this team as well.
Yeah.
I did find the leftovers Lando, and guess what? It also is probably a typo.
Okay, so I will go and say that I have like two teams that were borderline top cut that I wanted to talk about that I really liked, and then we can get to like whether it's the fun stuff and also friends or players that we follow in the pod. So do you mind if I just bang these two out real quick?
Yeah, grab them real fast.
19th place. This is our top finishing rain team. And I'm just pulling this out more so because I feel like people are I know a lot of people who have literally only played rain for the last year and a half. Like pretty much
forever.
Like pretty much once Reg G started, they've only been playing rain. Shout out Chase. Who up until playing Kyogre was not a rain player. He was a Blood Moon ursaluna player with me, and then he found his one true love and has only played rain pretty much. I think this is just a really interesting way of playing rain. We saw in earlier formats like the Dragonite with the Pelipper and Amoonguss and Chien-Pao, or even before we had Chien-Pao, just like the Dragonite, Pelipper, Amoonguss as a core with a rain offensive mode. In this case, it being the Archaludon and the Urshifu. Far cries from the Hurricane Salamence and Azumarill that people are playing in January of 2023.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the Chien-Pao here. The Chien-Pao makes, like, once you go rain into Chien-Pao, the Scarf Urshifu is one of the biggest menaces in the format. On the Dragonite, we're playing the classic Dragonite that we've seen for this format in the past. This is your Choice Band, Inner Focus, Terra Normal, E-Speed, plus Tech moves. Interesting enough that it has Aqua Jet as a secondary priority attack that it can use. Because of the fact that you have the Rain boost here, the Rain plus Band, I want to say, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, that Rain plus Choice Band is probably enough on its own to pick up a Pokemon like Fluttermane. But if you switch the Chien-Pao in as well, throw the Sword of Ruin in there, you're definitely picking it up.
I can tell you real fast, won't take very long.
Yeah. Another way we're looking at this is, as well, this is your Terra Grass Archaludon, Assault Vest, the Stamina, again, classic, Flash Cannon, Electroshock, Draco, Body Press. Your Amoonguss is another one of these no protect Amoongusses with Pollen Puff and Sludge Bomb. This is one of the teams where you really want both of the attacks, especially your Pollen Puff, because
you're probably dealing like 70% on a good day. If it's the bulky Fluttermane, you're probably dealing.
If it's like super bulky, or
if it's the super bulky Fluttermane, you're probably dealing like in the 50 to 67, like 55, 70 range.
Is that just Rain and Choice Band, or is
that's Rain and Choice Band?
Throwing the Sword of Ruin.
It still is not enough.
Okay, well, you're close enough.
You get to like 70 to 90 range.
Click Ice Shard 2.
Like if it's the bulky Fluttermane, you can probably just two-shot it with that, which is fine. Oh, but they also are like sometimes grass, so it's just like, man, the Aqua Jet doesn't feel great.
Yeah,
just click the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace probably does it. Yeah, Aerial Ace will do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, you want that Pollen Puff to really like maximize the Archaludon. Again, when Regulation F was first introduced, Archaludon was like, oh, this is so cool, and it just didn't work because I think that it was a Pokemon that was introduced in a format that at introduction people didn't have the time to really work through it, and now we know the right way to play it, but it was in a format without a Pokemon like Fluttermane, but we can still try to apply what we learned and figure out how to use it. I don't. Rain is. We've said it in the pod from last week.
Rain in this format in this form is
Not as good.
It's rough. There are many other Pokemon that have better ways of setting up rain for you. Tornadus does a much better job, in my opinion, than Pelipper does right now. Just being able to turn it on after switches and whatnot, you're not reliant on pivoting in and out, so you're not losing pressure. And to the opposite end of the spectrum of Tornadus also is setting Sunny Day. like you have Tornadus setting Sunny Day, that's messing with your Pelipper. You have Tornadus setting, like I said, all the weather for you. It's like, this is not great. Archaludon, like you mentioned, this is a format with Flutter Mane. It doesn't line up as well. One of the big benefits of the Assault Vest Archaludon back in H was you don't have Flutter Mane Moonblasts running you down. You don't have Flutter Mane Shadow Balls running you down. And like the biggest thing you had as a special attacking Archaludon, like from the special side to worry about, was like Nasty Plot Goldingo. Like that was the scariest thing you had to worry about, and you could play around that one. Flutter Mane, Flutter Mane's a whole different beast. There's no setup. It's just gonna click the moves. It's going to damage you, and you're probably downed in 2 or 3 shots at best.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think like this is a nice way of trying to play the archetype. I think people are going to work on it.
What's funny is both of those mistyped Landos were on pretty similar teams.
Okay. Yeah. And then the other team I wanted to talk about before we start doing like other stuff, like talk about Joe's team, and other friends of the pod, and the Landos. This team, this is 24th place.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 27th.
No, no, I mean, like, yeah, we could throw up 20. I mean, 27th, that's a Galarian Moltres.
27th was one of the ones on my list that I wanted to talk about anyway.
Yeah, we can talk about that one next. This team right here is my favorite team in the format. If there was a team, like, I put that in my server channel, in Cats, and, like, CJ was like, this, if there was an Angelo team, it would be this. It's Roaring Moon, it's Blood Moon Farig, it's Ogerpon Flutter, and it's Incineroar.
Yeah.
As we've stated in the past, like talking about that more balancy Blood Moon ursaluna team, like Wellspring, Incin, Flutter, Farig, Blood Moon, that 5 is it's pretty much like very set, and it's that 6th slot that's running through different things. I've used Starkfu in that slot. People have used, I believe, Dongum. I'm sorry. Yoon went and used. Yes, thank you. I'm tired. Went and used.
It is getting late.
Yep, went and used the Raging Bolt in that slot for a top 8 finish at Orlando. People have thrown Iron Hands in it. The Roaring Moon is playing as that dark type, and that physical offense that the you're playing that role from the Urshifu. You're playing the role of having that dragon type defensively as the Raging Bolt, and you're also getting, on this set we're running the Tailwind set, so this is going to be a very fast Roaring Moon. You're getting that aspect, and the flying.
Are the Tailwind ones usually booster speed, or are they
usually booster speed? Yes, you can run it as booster attack, but usually on that one you'll be running booster speed. So that set will be 252 Jolly with like 224 attack. I think, yeah, that sounds right to me, because I ran that set. Yeah, it's like it's 28 HP. 4 and 4 in your defenses, max your speed, and then dump
it's
the
like
rest in
you
attack.
you max your speed because there's a certain number in attack that you want to hit still.
Yeah.
I remember trying to get the speed boosts on Roaring Moon. It's like, it's a very specific setup because you gotta make sure you hit it in a specific way, because otherwise your attack will always be higher. And
yeah. No, I got it right here. It's I was like a little off. So yeah, it was 28 HP, 4 and 4 in your actually, yeah, I was close. 28 HP, 4 and 4 in your defenses, 252 Jolly, which puts you at 188 speed.
Yeah, and then you hit 187 attack.
Exactly, at 220. So that's probably what this set is doing there.
That's very likely what it is.
Yeah. And so you're getting that tail. You're getting your tail room. You're getting your physical offense. It's able to do a lot of different things. People have used Roaring Moon with Farig, Ursa, and Blood Moon in the past. Back in like Regulation E, there were a handful of players using it with Clefairy, like using these three with like Clefairy.
Yeah.
As an iteration on like a Justin Knox team. So I think it's just like, again, I have a local in a week and a half. I'm probably bringing this.
I'm about to say, yeah, this is probably your team.
Yeah, like
I also have a local in 2 weeks, and
yeah.
I'm debating on going or not.
I mean, I absolutely will be going because my wife will be at dance that night, and I won't. I'm either going to go play Pokemon or sit in my apartment alone. I'm going to leave. Let's go. Let's start with some of your teams. 27th place,
Sliced Bread. The only reason I'm bringing this one up is because it shows off that Moltres Galar that I've been starting to see a little bit on the ladder. Oh my gosh, I've been playing Reg F again. Yeah, I've ran into like Moltres Galar like 4 times in the last week playing. And this team, it was very similar to this. I think the Hisuian Arcanine was just an Incineroar instead. But this team is very cool. There's a lot of cool moving parts in this. This is the Assault Vest, Raging Bolt, Terra Electric, going to punch things. That's one of the ways we've seen people try and be the mirror breaker. Raging Bolt versus the Calm Mind stuff is if you just Terra Electric, you just hit harder in certain situations. And you still get the boosted benefit of being Assault Vest, so that's kind of cool. The Hisuian Arcanine is really neat with the Terra Ghost. You get to kind of just play as just a choice bit. Like it's almost Dragonite-esque, I want to say, but not quite.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely especially since you're running the Head Smash on it as well. This is your like go for it, like
I'm a
wall breaker.
just hit it as hard as I can.
I think that's a mon where it's like, especially playing against these balanced teams, a lot of like the pivoting matters so much on these teams to get into position where if you're gonna be like, well, if I click Head Smash and you don't have anything that is a resist to rock, I'm busting a hole into your team.
I'm gonna hit you real hard.
Yeah. And then like my Landorus, my Moltres, my Raging Bolt, even like my Ogerpon, one of these Pokemon is going to find the hole and just take advantage of it. And then, of course, in order to get all these Pokemon maximized, it is more of a supportive Wellspring. This is a classic Follow Me with the Horn Leech, so not only is it going to redirect, but it's going to stay around a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's able to get that HP back.
It's the common set that we're used to seeing.
Yes. And also, this is another booster energy, full support, no protect Flutter Mane as well. However, this is Terra Fairy instead of the Terra Grass. Again, giving it more of that offensive role where you can go Terra Fairy, Moonblast, and also break a hole.
For those that understand how Berserk works, so I just want to specify this because people may not understand why this Moltres is actually strong. So Berserk is a special attack boost when you hit half HP. Well, the idea is to get just under half, use the Citrus Berry, and you effectively will get 2 Berserk boosts if you can live the hits. That's kind of the idea behind it. Usually we see these Moltres Galars with things like Amoonguss or the Sinistcha, things that'll heal it and whatnot, so you can maximize those boosts. But this kind of just acts like I'm gonna be a special Roaring Moon, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Galarian Moltres, I will say, is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, especially VGC wise.
The shinies are so cool for the Galarian birds, and
but like I will say this for the Moltres specifically, I really love the classic. I love the black with the fiery
red
wings. Yeah, this was a Pokemon when just looking at this set even is just bringing me back to like late 2020 playing Series 7.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's very Sword and Shield feeling.
Yeah. Like this is this is kind of like a Sword and Shield feeling team. God, I miss clicking Dynamax.
I kind of don't. I kind of fine without it, but I don't mind. I wouldn't mind if we got to do it again.
Yeah,
And then
I miss it solely because like it would make a Pokemon like Galarian Moltres go from like niche pick to really freaking good again, and I would like this Pokemon to be good again, because it's a personal favorite of mine. Like I really enjoy using it when I get the opportunity to.
And then the last one is Joe's team. I believe he was like the only Grimmsnarl in the entire event. I'm pretty sure he was pretty close. And if he wasn't, there was only
there were a handful.
Was there?
Yeah, there were. I mean, there's when I mean a handful, and this is the other thing, just in general with these online tournaments, is that like there's a ton of drops. He is the only 1-2 day 2. The next Grimmsnarl team is 5-3 and 135th place. So he's by far and away the best Grimm. But there were like a handful of Grimms. Only 3 of them finished with positive records. So it really wasn't talk about team like Pokemon that didn't have good weekends. Grimm had a shit weekend.
Yeah, partly due to the fact that it's just the people who are playing with Grimmsnarl
probably aren't that good.
Probably weren't that great. Grimmsnarl is one of those Pokemons that if you know how to use it, it will be your best friend, and Joe is definitely one of those people. If I remember correctly, Joe's losses were to Elizabeth, CC, and then Kumasena, whoever that is.
No.
That was a round 3. That one was a rough. I remember. So I watched Joe through day 1. Joe didn't stream his day 2 stuff that I was aware of, and so I got to watch pretty much all of day 1. The game against Elizabeth was really, really close, but Joe had really good wins against some really strong players, and then has some really weird wins against some really weird teams. Like there was this team he played in the 4th round, had a Thunderous Therian and a Mamoswine.
Yeah, I'm looking at that, and again, like teams made for Angelo.
Yeah, he played against a Heatran Regidrago team in round 1 and beat the pants off.
Heatran Regidrago with Incin, Blood Moon for Rig Water Pond, like
he beat that pants off of it in round. In round 1, he beat the pants off of that.
I'm also looking at it right here. Round 10, he beat one of my locals.
He played against
Dan Marcello.
Fun fact: he knocked out one of my locals from day 2, Connor Scott.
Okay,
he knocked him out of day 2.
Oh, knocked one of your locals at day 2. Knocked one of mine out of top cut. Contention. Joe just catching bodies from just
catching them as they fall there. But Joe's team it's very interesting, doing the Grimmsnarl multi-scale Dragonite kind of, I guess, as like your support group, and then the rest of the team fills out a very strong offensive core between Urshifu, Ogerpon, Landorus, and Iron Hands. The Iron Hands did a lot of heavy lifting in a lot of his matches. It was a Pokemon that people didn't necessarily have a good plan into a lot of the time, especially with it being Terra Water. So it's like you either bring your Landorus and then it Terra Waters and you can't really break through it that fast, or you bring your Raging Bolt, it never Terras and you still can't break through it that fast. And so behind the screens, behind the Spirit Breaks, with the AV, with the Drain Punch, it became a very hard to break Pokemon for Joe, and did a lot of the heavy work for what his team was doing.
Yeah, so one of the things I was looking at, because I was like looking at this team and I'm like, this does look a little familiar in a sense. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the Iron Hands, I'm seeing like the Ogerpon, the Lando, and I'm like the Grimm, and I was thinking, is this Joe's Worlds team from 2024, but with Dragonite instead of Miraidon? And it's not.
Not quite.
It's the only similarities in Pokemon wise are the Hands and the Grimm.
Yeah.
And the Urshifu. But like, yeah, different dragon type. There was different dragon type, different fire type. He went and used the Volcarona on that instead of the Ogerpon Heartflame, and there was no Landorus. He went and played Ditto instead.
Yeah.
But I think like maybe for Joe that was like the idea of the basis of it. Joe feels like someone who likes taking ideas from other formats sometimes and just figuring out like
Joe has
how
a
to
very
apply
set
those
play
old
style.
ideas.
He likes what he
Yes.
likes, and he knows what he wants to do in formats. He will be the first person to tell you that this Dragonite was not optimal. He did not like the haze. He probably will be swapped if he brings this to another event, or if he brings something similar to a future regional. It will probably be what we saw earlier with that 3 attack scale, like loaded dice scale shot Ironhead Extreme Speed Dragonite. Maybe could play Tailwind and Extreme Speed Scale Shot Protect instead, but that's probably like the one big change. And the rest of his team, he said, felt great. He was very pleased with how the rest of it played out. Just got some unluckiness in pairings at the back end there, and yeah.
I think it's another thing where we're looking at this team as well, and like I mean, outside you do have some moves that miss in Sandsear, Thunder Wave, and Scale Shot, but this is another team where there's a lot of moves that just hit all the time, and I think Joe is starting to realize that if he just plays moves that hit the Pokemon, he's going to not have to play the game of, oh yeah, I win this and this is a perfect play, but if I miss, I'm screwed. Which, you know,
that's
Joe,
how the game goes sometimes.
Joe gets those a lot of the times, and when he doesn't, it's at the worst possible moment, and it's great content for us who get to talk about it after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the other teams you want to talk about? Or because I have like 2 more friend of the pod teams. Do you want to throw like what place? Did those lefties stunned like Landos? Like,
oh god, no, they were real bad. There's a reason. So, like I said, they're typos. They were typos and mistakes. But you
but
pretty
the
much
rest just wasn't great.
Just had to live with it. No, the rest of the team was fine. They're mistakes that you made that you just have to live with. One was 0-3, one was 1-3.
Yeah, so, like that's at that point you just drop. Okay, so we have I'd say 2 more that they qualify for day 2 and dropped because this is a long tournament, and I don't know what Karibo was doing, but the team that I'm throwing on is my local Padrick. Padrick was we had a cup today, and he went and top cut the cut. So he went and got championship points and played Pokemon in person with friends instead of playing it at home alone on the second part of this
whatever
tournament.
The prize pool was.
Yeah. So Padrick, this is a phenomenal story for me, for my locals. Padrick was always known as the guy when you say ran like quirky mons, like he rolled up to a tournament with Golurk. And it would make the teams work. They were always good, and he's a very talented player. And it was always a situation of you're finishing 9th or 10th place, or like 5th or 6th, what you're bubbling cut, and you're doing that with like mons no one else is even looking at.
Yeah.
If you played some, like, not saying run the meta, just run a semblance of normal mons, and you'll probably be a monster. Well, 2 months ago, we finally started doing that. He top cut this cut today. He won a cup a month ago and went 6-2 in this event as well, like using some really cool mons. This is a Sun team with Venusaur and a support Torkoal. Venusaur with the Life Orb and the Stellar Terra is able to put out a lot of damage and is able to be hyper fast, outspeeding a lot of things in this metagame. The Galarian Zapdos, as we've talked about, this is your super fast Tailwind with the Choice Scarf. It also acts as a fast pivot and also just Brave Bird and close combat damage to pick up KOs to Pokemon that are weak to them. Gouging Fire, because in New England we have 2 genders, Gouging Fire players, and 3. Gouging Fire players, Urshifu Tornadus players, and Blood Moon Ursaluna players. Patrick is a Gouging Fire player. running no howl, but using Earthquake as another next to the Galarian Zapdos and the Cresselia as another way to just really punish the electric types that are in this format. Cresselia is your Sunny Day support as a secondary way to set up Sun if people try to override it with Torkoal, or the Torkoal look just feels bad. Dazzling Gleam and Icy Wind are both spread attacks and also act as your speed control with Icy Wind. Lunar Blessing is the move that is your full cleric. It is a on the field heal bell plus a life dew all in one, and then you have the protect, taunt, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Flutter Mane with Fairy Feather and Terra Fairy to add the multipliers on top of your D-Gleam. Yep. The only thing I don't know with this team is if Patrick was running Timid and like booster speed or booster special attack. I want to say on this set he was probably running special attack, but that's something I can ask for. Like,
I feel like you probably want to be special attack with this set, with it being the D-Gleam Shadow Ball. Usually, when you're the Icy Wind taunt, you're going to want to be the faster thing. In this situation, you're probably doing special attack because you're just looking to hit things. Because you have the Scarf Tailwind. If you're going like the Scarf Tailwind's going to help you win any kind of like speed matchups there.
Or even just the Icy Wind from the Crest. Yeah. Like you can go like
protect Icy Wind, and then you're just winning speed dice there.
So, in general, like this is just like a very, very proud moment for me. Just a really great guy. Someone I'm very proud to call a friend, and he's been putting a lot of work into getting better and just taking things a little more seriously, while still also being his own person. You're able to be super creative without being the I'm quirky me.
Yeah.
More like the I'm so random, because this is a very unique team. There isn't another team in the entire tournament that looks like this, let alone one that looks like this that also did very well. And that speaks to both his team building creativity and his skills there, along with his just his level of play. And so Patrick, I am so proud. Don't feel like facing you. Actually, with him doing this now, don't feel like facing you at the local. And like, it's a 50-50 if he shows up to the Pawtucket local on the Tuesdays. He usually, oh no, he's out of the country for like 2 months. I don't have to worry about him until like February.
Go.
Never mind.
There you go. See, no problem.
Safe travel. See you in February, buddy. And the last team that we're going to be going over is community member, friend of the pod, one of our very, very long time community members, Karibo. I believe this 6 is a 6 that he was bringing in the first part of Regulation F.
It's very similar, if it's not exactly the same. It's a lot of the same mons. They might be slightly different sets.
Like I can't remember if the Arcanine might have been an Incin at one set point.
He's been very, very Arcanine like friendly.
Okay,
so it might have been it probably wasn't Arcanine. It may not have been Terra Ghost Choice Band. Yeah, it might have been a different set before that, but
Karibo is a very well-known balance player in our community and also in the Canadian community where he's from.
Yeah,
and this is just really strong balance. The Arcanine as your Intimidator though adds that little extra offense. I feel like a lot of these teams right now like having that call a go mode button, a send it button. And the Chien-Pao Hisuian Arcanine lead is absolutely that send it button. If you don't have if you know that, oh, my opponent's leading this and this will blow a hole into the team, or if they just don't have an answer into the Arcanine, and you can go do this sort of ruin boosted rock slide spam or e-speed spam, like do your discount like Dragonite impression or something like that. You have a lot of options there, along with just generally powerful Pokemon in Wellspring Ogerpon. You have the Taunt Icy Wind Flutter Mane with booster energy. This one being the booster speed, probably.
Very, very likely a booster speed. You don't have really speed control anywhere else. So almost always like these are booster speed. Try to outspeed things. Stuff.
And then the Lando and the Rilla are just their classic sets. This is just using the substitute on the Landorus. One of the reasons why you're using substitute here not only just as a quote unquote second protect on the team, but it's really great as a way to punish spore or people trying to spore into your Landorus. They click the spore, they spore into a sub. The sub protects you from your status moves like spore, thunder wave, etc. Not that you can get thunder waved until you Terra with the Landorus, but still substitutes there to protect you. And now it's like, okay, I got to hit the substitute and then hit the Lando. And while they're doing that, you're just firing off sludge bombs and earth powers boosted by the sheer force life orb.
Yeah,
and you're just making your opponent's life.
I do like the subs on the Reg F Landos. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, it just gives it a more consistent button to press. Sandsear a lot of times feels like a Hail Mary button. And I never feel good clicking it.
Sandsear doesn't feel great unless you know you can hit, like with like the rain, you can always hit something. Yeah. Like having the rain means your Sandsears are 100% accurate for those that don't know how that works. And so I like it. I like it when you see like the Wolf team that's playing the Rain Dance Tornadus with the Landorus. You have access to Sandsear if you want to do that. You can do things like that. I don't like playing the heads up. Just go for it and hope you hit it. Line.
Yeah, it always just feels like having that Hail Mary button on your team, and sometimes it's like nice to know that you have a break glass in case of emergency where you have like some button to press if things go to shit, and you can be like, well, maybe I can do this.
This team could play that Tornadus. Like, you could play that Tornadus.
Yeah.
And maybe that Fluttermane slot Fluttermane being a more supportive Fluttermane, having access to that priority Tailwind, having access to Icy Wind if you want to do that with your Tornadus, Rain Dance, Bleak Windstorm. So you could adjust this team to play that Rain Dance, Seer Storm, Landorus, and that'd probably be fine.
I think, though, in general, I would just rather have the Fairy type. And I think that's the big thing, where it's like just having this insanely powerful Fairy type that puts out that damage into all the dragons in the format. We saw a lot of Roaring Moon and a lot of Raging Bolt. The Moon Blast just does so much into them, especially if the Raging Bolt isn't running. Like, if they lose their Assault Vest or aren't running the Assault Vest, don't have any boosts up, like the Moon Blast is an immediate threat on that Pokemon. Like, I could see the benefit of running the Flutter there. But in general, just a very, very well-built team, a team that he has a lot of experience with. And again, someone who, I don't know, he probably had a local today, now that I think of it.
Maybe, was able to I also know that he's not usually the type to play 2-day events all the way through. Usually he'll play day one, and if he whatever he does day one, he's just done after that because he has other things going on.
Yeah, no, it's he is an adult with things in his life. And that is like the tough thing. Like, I pretty much had all of yesterday off, but like that's the thing. It's like I had all of yesterday off. I was busy as hell today, so for me, it's going out and looking at an event like this. It's tough for me to commit to a 2-day event. That's especially an online event.
I mentioned it to my wife before, like the day, like as it was starting. I was like, I thought about playing in this event today, but there's almost 1,000 people in this thing, and I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been 9 hours ish of Pokemon if I played all the rounds, and I'm just like, no.
And that's the thing. Like, if I'm doing this if I was prepping for a regional, I probably would have done this because of like helping to get that stamina, or just like getting that muscle memory back into my body. But even then, it's like I sometimes just feel like it's a case of, like today, if I was going to play in a 2-day event, there was a local, so if I was going to play Mons, I would get into my car and drive to play Mons with my friends instead of doing this online. But I'm also someone who has a lot of locals near me, and I get the opportunity, so I understand why a lot of people, like, they just don't. Or they choose this event because instead of going for the locals, they want to play against like the best of the best in the world. We saw a lot. I mean, just look at the flags. Like,
I was gonna say, there was a comment on Twitter about something about coming to play in this and play against some of the best. Like, why even play in this? How are you going to beat the top X15 people in this event? Because this event was stacked with people.
Yeah, we had some very talented players, and it's really great to just have an event like this to set the stage for the rest of the format.
Yeah,
as we go into hopefully Champions coming out soon. I know the big talk.
I'm still on the camp. Champions is probably coming Pokemon Day.
Yeah. But like once we get that, I think this is just like leading into everything, especially like leading into EUIC. This is a good event to like just set the stage. The bar is here.
We'll have more events coming down the pipeline. Yeah. It's just that this one happened to be organized by Brady and whatnot and his group, and it brings a lot of people in and a lot of the big names in, and it ends up it got bigger than they intended it being. It got out of hand.
With that being said, though, like it is nice because I think one of the things that I do miss because really outside of VR, we really haven't had that grassroots. And while it's always support your locals first for me. Just the grassroots scene was such a big, especially at the, of course, all throughout Sword and Shield, but even through the first year of Scarlet and Violet, like the Himi tours, the Tommy Tuesdays, etc., it was still a big aspect of like the culture of VGC were these online tournaments that were occurring, and that really, and like the Limitless tours really have fallen off. And to have an event at this scale maybe kickstarts, at least maybe for this month where there's only locals, it becomes a bigger thing. But it is just nice and a little like nostalgic for me to see a very large grassroots event that the entire community is like, hey, we're playing this fun grassroots tournament. There's no like screw talking about worlds, screw talking about like
it helps that there was $1,500.
I mean, $1,500, yeah, but still, it's like let's just come around this community event, which I thought was nice.
That's the issue right now. Is a lot of these limitless events are prizeless, I guess is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
The reason Victory Road does things the way they do is Battlefy sets up entries and payouts and things like that. Like it's easier, but Limitless doesn't support that stuff, which kudos to them. I don't think you should be hosting online. I think the era of pay to enter online tournaments is over.
Yeah,
I think it's really rough to justify having anybody pay any sort of money to enter into an event and play online. Everything just gets so sketchy so fast in that situation. But yeah, I'm excited to see what more innovations we get out of Reg F events this month. And Toronto's the first event and back in, right? It'd be like January
first
13?
For us.
Yeah.
I think like the week before there's an event in Europe. It's the 17th through 19th.
And so then that means it'd be something on the 10th and 11th.
I believe so. We can just look this up now. Which, yeah, if there is something on the 10th and 11th. No, there is the first one is Toronto. I
thought it was Toronto.
So for some reason I thought Birmingham was the week before Toronto. It's the week after Toronto. So yeah, we are about 5 weeks out from our first major in Toronto. And so hopefully we will be like, again, this sets the stage for something really, really fun once we kick off the second half of the season in 2026.
Yep.
So for other things, we didn't even mention like Lucario Z.
Nah, it's because we have our Z episode next week. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Also, just like reminder before I do my outro, Mewtwo mystery gift on ZA. We'll talk about it more in a week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it all. ZA is on the docket for next week. We'll talk about it, all that stuff. The DLC will have been out. I'll played through it by the time we probably are recording. I'll have it maybe beat depending on how big it is. We'll have thoughts and get to look at some new stuff and
I
see
got the
what.
credits to roll.
That's good. I say I haven't played it since I got since I got my ranked rewards for this current season. So I've been playing other games. I've been playing the new stuff for Unite. I hate Unite's current license point system.
Not good.
It's fine probably for newer players, but it is very much you have to buy the battle pass now to unlock Pokemon and in the later game, and it's just like it's not worth it to me to do that.
Yeah, that's not
good.
fun.
I'm good. I will eventually unlock Pokemon, but I guess if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to start buying them outright if I want to play them. But
yeah. Well, Angie's tired, so we're doing an outro.
We're done.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on an extra long episode, a longer episode of Littleroot Lessons. Talking about us going through all these teams. It's really great and just feels awesome to talk about this format again with you all. If you want to hear our backlog of how we were first looking at Regulation F, you can do so on our YouTube page and on our podcatchers, all at Littleroot Lessons. Again, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Wherever you can get the video podcast or just the audio podcast, we will be there. You can find us on our socials as well on Blue Sky at Littleroot Lessons. Your hosts are at Mr. Missouri 25 for Carter, Musical for Carl, and Rose Tinted Cheeks for yours truly. We have a few other different laddering videos coming out. Again, the TCG laddering is coming up as Carter is able to get these videos out and put out the different decks. Carl will, as he already said, probably will be playing through and streaming the DLC portion. Comes out on Wednesday, but
it'll probably be like Tuesday.
It'll actually, I was going to say, it'll actually be like Tuesday nightish for us because it goes out as a patch. So you want to be playing on Tuesday, or you want to be starting on Wednesday?
I will probably be starting Wednesday night.
So yeah, Wednesday night, 2 days after the podcast airs, Carl will be on our YouTube page streaming live, so you can follow along the fun there.
Gonna see how high I can get my my team's levels here. We're gonna over level if we can as fast as possible.
Yeah, just level.
I'm interested in finding the max. I'm very interested in seeing like if it's just a cap or if it just goes infinitely.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what new megas, what now, since we saw the fact that there is a Z-Lucario, what other Pokemon
we can get.
Yes.
Who else are they sad about and want to rework?
Yeah.
Because that's what this is Mega Lucario flopped. Like, let's get some actual let's try again here. And who else can we do this to? Yeah.
So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how all that works, and you will hear my thoughts on it next week because I will not be streaming. They need to stop like putting things out on days they need to be an adult because I will be at my lodge on Wednesday night. We are initiating 3 new members for our lodge, and we're doing a courtesy for another lodge in our state. One of their guys like missed theirs, so we're doing it for them. So that night's going to be an hour longer than I wanted it to be. Maybe I'll be able to touch my game before we record.
Maybe.
Who can say? And you will find out next week. And with all that being said, I'm going to go to bed now.
It is.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.